Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Call Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakha, Kadash, Shemai, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Alahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad. Shemai, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Alahayanawa, Achad. Shemai, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Alahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered across the four winds. And double honors to the men that taught our elders and apostles. This morning I woke up, thinking about what to do a lesson on. And, it just came to me, ask AI, how do you determine an enemy? The scriptures go into who the enemies are of the Israelites. You can get that in Psalms 83. But, just asking AI, how do you how do you determine an enemy? It says determining an enemy involves observing actions, motives, and patterns. So so when we look out into the world, it says they often undermine you, spread spread negativity, act selfishly, become jealous of your success, and may be someone who is a mirror image of you with conflicting goals. So, you know, all the different things that the so-called the Edomite has done to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, it shows that he truly is your enemy. I let me see if I can let's see if I can get a let's see. It says Texas has drowned towns or communities submerged by reservoirs like like Lake Buckingham and settlements under the Toledo Bend River, alongside towns impacted by recent severe flooding, such as those along the Guadalupe River. Okay, so let's see. I saw a thing here recently where, you know, where let's ask it a different question. Let's ask it a different. But that one, observing behaviors. Uh, how many black settlements in Texas have been flooded? Have been AI don't want to talk. It don't want to tell you. It don't want to tell you. It's that climate change is threatening historic African American sites. Come on now. Yeah, AI does not want to tell you. You don't want to go into that. It's a nah. We'll let that go. We'll let that go. But going back, it says they often undermine you. So who is constantly undermining you? Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. I mean, who constantly? Let's you know we don't just get definitions. We don't get definitions and see you know the so-called characteristics Undermine definition. Undermine. Lessen the effectiveness, power, or ability, or gradually, or especially gradually or insidiously sabotage, threaten, weaken, compromise. Synonyms: subvert. Subvert, undermine the power and authority of an established system or institution. Okay, so who broke up the black family? You know, what was that all about? What was that all about? Breaking up, giving the Israelite woman power over the man. You know, that's part of subverting or undermining, destabilizing. You know, they've done this in the Israelite community. Primarily you Negroes and the people that they want to lump in with the Negroes. A lot of the native tribes, you know, they just did a paper genocide on. So, you know, but this is the different things that your enemy will do. He will undermine you, spread negativity. When you go on to the news, what do you see? You know, uh, 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 a thug, uh, what is it, 304? You know, they spread negativity about you. They set up these puppets to to be I guess what do you call it, a puppet to lead the community. You know, they set up an actor or a comedian, and they're supposed to be your voice in politics and so on and so forth. They said, okay, so there goes, you know, all of these different things they have shown you time and time again. Act selfishly. That goes back to the drown towns. You know, as soon as you start getting a community together, once you start making money and so forth, then guess what? They want to come against you and destroy anything that you have, becoming jealous of your success. You know, why is it that, you know, I saw a meme not long ago where, you know, it was basically talking about all the different times that the so-called white man has come into different communities and destroyed them because it was separate. It was separate and they were thriving, but then no, they got jealous of the things that you Israelites were doing, so they came in and destroyed it. And you know, rightly so, because the Heavenly Father said that, you know, no man would save us. You know, we have to believe in the power on high. We have to believe in Yahweh, Yahweh Shah, to come and deliver us out of this captivity. You know, this is not our rest. We're not here to prosper and so forth. We're here because the Heavenly Father set up the wicked, you know, over the earth as a punishment for us, because we're those people that are supposed to be ruling. We're supposed to be ruling over these people, you know, but yet, let's get that. We get a couple of scriptures and close it out. You know, it's not gonna be anything long. This is Second Esdras chapter 6 and verse 54. Let's see if we can view the chapter. You know, this is Second Esdras 6 and 54. It says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen, All this have I spoken before thee, O Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Yes, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you Israelites, those that come of the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Jacob's 12 sons. You know, this is who the world was made for. The whole entire world was made for us to rule over the heathens. But yet, we didn't follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father. So, he brought them on us. It says, as for the other people, which also come from Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. It says, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, these damn heathens, these Edomites, these Ammonites, these Amalekites, these Moabites, Ammonites, Elamites, all of these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for us, our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? And, we understand that the reason that we catching all of this hell is because of our transgression. But we also know that, their time is at an end. Their time, the time of the heathen rulership is at an end. And we understand that they are our enemies. They are our enemies. And let's get that. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 16. It says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon you, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. Goes right back. The scriptures tell you, how do you tell an enemy? How do you tell an enemy? Are we still undermined? Oh, come on. Let's go back to it. How do you determine an enemy? Yeah. We'll go back. This is the same pattern. This is what the scriptures are talking about. He will undermine thee. He'll speak softly with his lips. He'll lie. He'll he'll do all of the different things that the so-called white man has done, and these other heathen nations. They have never done anything to help you. Never done anything to help you whatsoever. The scriptures go into it. If he do good, let's get it. That's I think 14. Oh, hold on. Oh. It's, okay, here, yeah. It says, this is Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 14 and verse 5. It says, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. And we can see, who is talking about here. The so-called white man is polluting the food, He's polluting the air, putting all kinds of different shit in the air and sprinkling it down on the people. He's polluting the water. He's shooting his people up with these different inoculations. So for he is evil to himself. To whom will he be good? It says he shall not take pleasure in his goods, because all the goods that he's gathering is, he's gathering it for you Israelites. It says there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. It says, if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. And this right here, that describes the so-called Edomite, the so-called Edomite, man, woman, and child. Look, even the precepts come up. Is Esau, Esau, the so-called white man. So if he doeth good, you know, he do it unwillingly. But that's what happens when you are placed under your enemy. The Heavenly Father said that no one would save you. Let's get that, and then we'll go ahead and close out. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It says, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. It says, and Yahweh by Shem Yahushua shall bring thee into Egypt again, America being modern day Egypt, because in ancient Egypt, all 12 tribes were there. And in modern day Egypt, all 12 tribes are here in Babylon the Great, America, so it's spiritual Egypt. It says, I will bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way, wherefore I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, meaning we would not be in the land. We would not see the land again. We would be cast off from the land. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, those people that, that, that show you their motives and patterns, and they undermine you, they spread negativity, they act selfishly, they become jealous of your success, and maybe someone who is a mirror image of you with conflicting goals. So the white man is the biggest dope dealer, he's the biggest murderer, he's the biggest liar, all of that, so, but he places all of that on you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Look at DJ Trump. It says, showing hostility through words, actions, and subtle clues like resentment. Look for consistent behaviors that aim to harm, belittle, or obstruct you rather than genuine support. So if you can't, if you don't understand who that is, then it ain't for you. That is your enemy, and call it like it is. The Edomite is your enemy. It says, and ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. So bondmen and bondwomen, slaves. And no man shall buy you. That word buy right there should be that word buy. I can't remember the Hebrew word, but it means redeem. So nobody is going to save you or redeem you out of this situation. Nobody's going to get you out of this situation. The Heavenly Father is going to take you out of this situation, because he's the one that put you in the situation. He's the one that said that these things would happen to you based on your actions. So he put you in his actions. He put you in this situation. So he's the only one that will be able to take you out of this situation. With that being said, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Raha Kadash, Double honors to our elders and apostles, the great millstone, and the men that taught our elders and apostles. Shalom, Kwam Yasha Allah.